Oh, it's been look, it's only Monday, folks, and it's already off to a great start this week. What's going on? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live on our Facebook page, Ballard Sports Media, and the YouTube channel, like always. Oh, buddy, I don't even know where to begin with this, but apparently more info has come out on Michigan's sign stealing scandal, and I gotta know, how should they be punished? How should we go about this? I see you in the comments, Mayhem. I'm gonna drop the link here. Hopefully I'm not on here too long. I do have places to be today, but I do want some insight from all of you if we give you a few minutes to get on here and talk about this. But apparently, according to reports, this is from Dan Murphy and Pete Thamel of ESPN. New Michigan head coach Sharon Moore is one of 7 members from the 2023 football program accused of violating NCAA rules in a draft of the NCAA's notice of allegations obtained by ESPN. The draft, which could be subject to change. Let me actually share screen this real quick. Let me pull this up and you guys can see what I'm reading here. Yeah, let's do that. We'll full screen this. The draft, which could be subject to change, states Moore could face a show cause penalty and possibly a suspension for allegations or for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stalions in October 2023, on the same day that media reports revealed Stalions was leading an effort to capture the play calling signals of future opponents. Okay, what this says to me already is Sharon Moore, the new Michigan head coach, was their coordinator last year, did a really good job helping the defense, helping the offense. Was he? I think it was defense. I don't have that in my notes here, but he which I think he'd be a good head coach. I do. Not going to be what Jim Harbaugh was. They're not going back to back. They might make the 12-team playoff. We'll see what happens here, though. But what I'm reading here so far, getting back to this article for a second, do you mean to tell me Sharon Moore had a thread of 50-something text messages with Connor Stalions in October? He deletes all of those text messages that he had, which was the same day the media revealed that Connor Stalions was cheating for Michigan. So at the same time, at the time that Connor Stalions was going to all these different Big Ten schools, going to practices as a quote unquote scout or analyst or whoever he was trying to be, he was talking back and forth with Sharon Moore, the new Michigan coach. And you mean to tell me Sharon Moore deleted messages? Wow. The draft states that the texts were later recovered via device imaging, and Moore subsequently produced them to enforcement staff. Moore is accused of committing a level 2 violation according to the draft. Moore, who took over as the Wolverines head coach in January after serving as their offensive coordinator. That's right, he's the offensive coordinator. I couldn't remember if he was defense or not. I knew he was a coordinator. So he's the offensive coordinator last year. He has all these conversations with Connor Stalions, has these text messages. He deletes them. Okay, cool. Serving as their offensive coordinator for several seasons, considered a potential repeat violator by the NCAA because in August of 2023, he negotiated a resolution of claims that he contacted recruits during a COVID-19 recruiting dead period. The new allegations against Moore are part of the long anticipated notice of allegations related to Stalions' off campus scouting operation. And it goes on. So, and of course, we know in November, Stalions resigned. As soon as like this stuff came out, he hit the road. He's gone, right? The big question is this, folks. How should Michigan, like, what should their punishment be? Should we put them on probation? Do we strip the title? Do we put them on bowl ban? Here's the thing. You know what the sad part is? Is Michigan was such a good team last year with Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, uh, the quarterback JJ McCarthy, all the guys on defense. Michigan was such a good team last year. They didn't have to cheat to win a title. It just so happens that they cheated on their way to a national championship with this sign stealing allegation still. They didn't have to do that. They made the playoffs 3 years in a row, 2 years in a row prior to this year. They didn't have to go steal signs just to read opponent. First of all, I don't even remember. Let me look up what did they ever announce which teams they went to go film? Oh, yes, they did. I remember it now. I remember it. Okay, it's right here. That's right. Connor Stallions had that Central Michigan gear on. But you know who they were actually really scouting? They, they were scouting Michigan State. Oh. So the article goes on to say from ESPN, the draft also states the NCAA gathered evidence that shows Stallions was on the sideline at Michigan State's season opening game against Central Michigan in 2023. Connor Stallions was wearing a bench pass, Central Michigan coaching gear, and a disguise, according to the draft, which states that Stallions' conduct seriously undermined or threatened the integrity of the NCAA collegiate model. The draft does not say how Stallions obtained a bench pass for the Chippewa sideline. ESPN attempts to reach Stallions for comment Sunday were unsuccessful. Of course they were. The NCAA's draft said Stallions failed to cooperate with its investigation. The draft states that in October 2023, he removed hard drives from the Michigan football offices and also gave a football player a sheet containing play calling signals of a future opponent. Ooh, hold up. So he goes, he films these teams, he gets these signals, he has hard drives, he has sheets with play calling signals. He's giving them to a football player. He's not even giving them to Jim Harbaugh. He's giving them straight up to the college players. That's interesting. Wow. Where was I? Stallions asked the player to bring the sheet to a team intern's house until he could retrieve it later. Stallions also refused to let the school review his phone. That's suspicious, according to the draft. Stallions has yet to publicly share many details about his side of the story, but he is expected to be interviewed for an upcoming Netflix documentary about the scheme. I can't wait to watch that. I might go live and watch that with y'all. I don't know. That's gonna a Netflix documentary on all this. Holy cow! This is awesome. That look, I promise you, I know it happened back in October when it came out, and it came out like prior to the playoffs and everything like that. But we are still here in August 2024. You can bet your money that we are still at the very tip of the iceberg and the beginning of what could be the downfall of the Michigan program right now. And this whole scandal. We're still at the beginning stages of this, I promise you. Um, let's see. Blah blah blah. So it doesn't say first name, but a defensive assistant with I guess Partridge, fired by Michigan last November, is accused of pressuring a player to lie or mislead investigators in an effort to protect the coaching staff during the probe into Stallion scheme, according to the draft. He's also accused of several level 2 rule violations that are not associated with the Stallions case. The draft states that during the spring and summer of 23, Partridge held on-campus training sessions with at least 4 prospects. And again, it's weird because it's not saying the first names of these guys. Partridge, Clinkscale, and Robinson are all accused of providing impermissible benefits to recruits in 2023, including paying for a recruit's meal and providing recruits with the team's gear. And it goes on. So they did what they could to get recruits. So what we're seeing here, it goes more than just we cheated and got signs. This is a whole web of coverage for Michigan that they did more than just that Central Michigan sign stealing. They did more than just that. That's interesting. You're talking about they went out basically they bought a player too. Double check the comments here. We got Mayhem Matthew in the house. Buckeye Sean 007. They are already on probation. Were they that good? I mean, really think about it, knowing your opponent's play is on both sides of the ball all game, every game. That's a good point. I mean, I thought the talent and I thought, like, they had good players. They had made the playoffs the last 2 years. You can make a case that they were good enough. Here's the thing. My side of this is I think Michigan, maybe not 15-0. And maybe they don't win it. I don't know. They didn't have to cheat. They didn't have to do all this to get to where they are today as the defending champs, quote unquote. Other comments here. Every team in the Big Ten was scouted, and every anticipated team they could possibly play in the playoffs, including Alabama. And I'm waiting on reports of that. I'm not going to deny that. I would not be surprised if that is the truth and that is the case. I don't know. I'm waiting on reports of that. He was giving them to the players on the way out the door to make sure Michigan had them. Buckeye Sean, Buckeye fan, by the way, says, and I don't want to argue with anybody this morning. I really don't. He says they cheated in 21, 22, 23. Think about that. You just named the 3 years they made the playoffs. I need to find more research on that. I don't want to say you're wrong, but I'm not going to agree just yet. I'm kind of neutral because I need to dive deeper into that and wait for more reports on all of this. I just it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. Like if they cheated their way to every playoff they've made the last 2 or 3 years, that would really not surprise me. And by the way, this story kind of broke yesterday, and then there's stuff that broke this morning, like minutes ago. Notice this too. They lost a 2025 receiver commit. Philip Wright is going to try to go to LSU, it looks like. He was kind of going back and forth between Michigan and LSU. He's from Louisiana. Shame. Shame. This is sad, Michigan. I had a gut feeling. I think I'm not the only one. I didn't know how or what, but I felt like this was gonna blow up in the offseason for Michigan. And you gotta think, Jim Harbaugh, boy, he really lucked out on this one, right? Or we think. We'll see what they do. But think about it, he's with the Chargers now. He really left town at the right time. Like, as soon as he won that championship, he packed his bags, got on a plane, went to LA to be with Justin Herbert and company. Oh my gosh. Mayhem says the NCAA already came out and said that Michigan wasn't cheating from that Penn State game. They beat Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa. Alabama and Washington without cheating, nothing is going to happen. And again, I mean that you make a good point, Mayhem. You really make a good point there. I don't think they cheated in every game. I think it was maybe just that 1 or 2 games where Connor Stallions went. But again, there are reports about paying players, trying to buy players, helping a guy get verified on Instagram, writing a $100 check for a golf charity event run by a recruit's father. There's a lot more than just stealing signs for Michigan from last season. It's really like there's a lot more that goes into this. Hmm. I don't know what else to read from this article that's going to be relevant to our situation. Not that it's irrelevant, but I don't know. I don't know what's CBS Sports saying. Let's check on them because I've read enough from ESPN this morning on this one. Mm, NCAA football. It's probably going to say some of the same thing. So David Cobb of CBS Sports, Michigan, Sharon Moore could face suspension, show cause penalty from NCAA and sign stealing investigation. It's probably going to say the same thing. Yeah, it mentions the 50 text messages between him and Stallions. It'd be a repeat violator due to a separate investigation settled in April for recruiting violations during the COVID-19 dead period. The case resulted in 3 years probation, fines, recruiting restrictions, as well as 1 year show cause for the 5 coaches involved. So we're awaiting. I guess what's next is, are they going to suspend Sharon Moore? I think 2 things. Are they gonna vacate wins, strip the title, and how long are you going to suspend Sharon Moore? How? I mean, it's Mayhem says they won't be punished. I don't know about that. Sorry, dude. I mean, it's in writing. You got caught. We knew they got caught. I mean, it came out. But there's even more to the story. And it's at the point there's really nothing Michigan can do to try to defend themselves. Like, what? Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't even know what else to say. I've read articles. I got my thoughts on this. I just I know Michigan cheated. I think everyone knows Michigan cheated. But the point I want to make today is that I would say that Michigan cheating should result in some form of punishment. I just don't know if they should strip the tie. I really don't know. Because think about it. Like, they cheated on their way to a title and everything. But do you guys think that they were the best team? Do we know that? What if something comes out about the Rose Bowl against Alabama? Or what if something comes out about the national title against Washington? This is going to be interesting here. I want to check. Let's see what Twitter is saying. What are people saying about on Twitter? Let's see. Because I put a tweet out too. And I'm just curious what everyone's saying. All right, I'm logged in. Okay, good, good, good. Okay. So I put out a picture of Sharon Moore and a picture of Connor Stallions. I said this is going to be interesting. We know Michigan cheated, but with the latest news, Moore could be suspended. And then I quoted ESPN, possibly a suspension for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stallions in October 2023. And then I said cover up by Sharon Moore. I want to see how it's trending and what everyone else is saying about. Let's go with. Let's see what they're saying about Harbaugh, though. Let's see what they're saying. It's all like career highlights and stuff like that. Um, so this is from Barstool, Ohio's Tate. I guess he covers the Buckeyes. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna take from a Buckeye guy, because obviously I know how they feel. They want to laugh, they want to vacate, they want to take away wins and stuff. But this is from a professional media person, and he says ESPN obtained the notice of allegations being sent to Michigan, and he lists these: 5 coaches committed level 1 violations, including Harbaugh. That's number 1. Number 2, Sharon Moore deleted 52 texts with Stallions the day the report came out. Connor Stallions was on the Central Michigan sideline, and they illegally scouted 58 times in 3 years. Then he says vacate everything. But what's interesting to me, I figured, listen, I asked when this came out. I don't remember if I probably did ask about it on here, but I had asked. I said, "Is Harbaugh behind this?" He got suspended for a game or two. Think about it. Was he behind this? Because now we're finding out that it was Sherrone Moore. I don't think Harbaugh was really up to this. I don't have much longer to be on here. I'm gonna read something later on. I got what you sent me, Mayhem. I appreciate that, buddy. I'll have to check into it. I do have to go, but my final words is this: Michigan's a bunch of frauds right now. Not the players. I don't want to put it on the players or anything, but Sherrone Moore, Jim Harbaugh, Connor Stallion. Well, let me say this: I don't think it's Jim Harbaugh. I think it all falls on Sherrone Moore. I think it's him. I think it's Connor Stallions. It's a disgrace and it's disgusting to college football. It really is. If you strip Michigan of their title, you technically take it away from Harbaugh, right? I really don't. I haven't found anything other than I have found stuff this morning that says Sherrone Moore was behind this with Connor Stallions. Um, I don't. I haven't really found anything that said it was Jim. He's gone. He's with the Chargers, I mentioned. Well, 5 coaches committed level 1 violations, including Harbaugh. Okay, so I see that, but I don't know. I don't I don't think that I think it falls on Harbaugh in the sense that it's his program, or it was. He's the head coach. He's in charge. He's even in charge of Sherrone Moore. He knew it was going on. I don't think he did anything personally. He should have in terms of trying to stop it, but he I don't think he cheated. But I think being the head coach, knowing what's going on, like, dude, really? The fact that the Big Ten and the CFP committee allowed them to continue playing when they already knew about allegations. You can't take the title away from them. Ohio State lost and Michigan won. That's true. Thanks. I don't know what they're gonna do to to Michigan, but they did cheat. They got caught. I think Mayhem, we need to do a show this week if you're available, and I need to get your thoughts on it outside of just you typing in the chat, buddy, for sure. um, I gotta go back and see what Mark Rogers had to say. He had an hour 20 show yesterday, streamed 12 hours ago. Last night, I guess a call-in show, whatever. But this is, yeah. I will. I can't say. I don't know. I know this. There's gonna be a lot of people, unless you are a Michigan fan, turning on Michigan for the like Michigan fans is all Michigan has to cheer for them right now. That's it. That is it. Anyway, what are you gonna do? I'll tell you this. If they're not going to keep them out of the playoffs or anything like that, let's say they say no, we won't put them on postseason ban, right? If Michigan goes back to back or even makes the Big Ten title, something's going on. And I think because I don't think they're going to be that good. Look at their schedule this year too. Let's talk about this year. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll be surprised about that too, Mayhem, if they get in trouble for this. But I mean, basically, they're getting a slap on the wrist. Here's their schedule for 2024. We previewed this early on. Fresno State's a win. Texas is, I think they'll lose that game, but it is at home. Arkansas State at home, homecoming win. We'll see about USC at Washington. It is a favorable schedule. I think they lose to Texas, Ohio State, and I think Oregon. I'm gonna peg them at 9-3. If they go 10-2, that's great. They're in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. If you find out that they're doing anything again this year in regards to cheating, in regards to sign stealing, in regards to any of that, postseason ban 2025 Michigan. For real. Because last year, come on. This is insane and ridiculous, man. I did drop the link in case anyone wanted to come on. I'll give y'all a few more minutes. I don't know. Don't know. Well, of course, there's going to be 10-2 teams missing the playoffs, but there's also going to be 10-2 teams if they have good wins and good strength of record, or if there's a 10-2 champion or something, mayhem, they're going to make the playoffs. Let's go. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up?
All right, let's get your thoughts. I know you're typing a lot in the comments, but like honestly, how should they be punished? How are they going to be punished? Let's hear
Well,
Ham side for real.
well, I don't have the actual direct quote right in front of me from Charlie Baker, but I sent it to you on the text message. But
Yeah.
basically, what he was saying, I'm paraphrasing, is that everybody knew about all the teams knew about the allegations heading into the last month of the season, which the last month of the season was starting around the Penn State game. They were able to beat Penn State, Ohio State. They were able to beat Alabama and Washington and Iowa for the Big Ten title, by the way. But whatever. Um, and all these teams knew about these allegations. They were allowed to adjust. They were allowed to make adjustments to their football, their the way that they were planning on, um, you know, their football schemes or whatever. They were allowed to make changes and adjust before they played Michigan. They still lost to Michigan. Michigan was the best team of last year. Even you said it. You said that they didn't need to cheat to win that national championship. Obviously, they were the best team in the country last year, and nobody's going to say otherwise. Yes, you could have probably said like a couple of teams, uh, maybe Georgia could have gave a run for their money, but Georgia lost the SEC championship. Michigan did not lose a game. Michigan is the best in the country of last year. They won. Whether you want to say they cheated or not, whatever. I mean, of course they cheated, but the allegations came out, which gave them last few teams a chance to make adjustments to play Michigan, and they had a chance to beat them. They didn't. Um, Even Alabama, if y'all had a competent snapper, a competent center, to even, you know, if y'all had one of them, then maybe y'all beat Michigan. And then what are people going to say? I mean, oh, they cheated, but literally Alabama had them on the ropes the whole game. So
I know. I know.
um, that was a winnable game for Alabama. All y'all needed was a good center to play for y'all. So um, I don't see any excuses. I think Michigan's not going to. If they get in trouble, I'll be surprised. I don't think they're going to get in trouble. Charlie Baker's already came out and said a long time ago, whenever this was already um, talked about before, that nothing's going to happen to them. They are the champions, and that's it. Now
Yeah.
now I don't know if their mind's going to change, but if that's the case, then Michigan has a good chance to. I mean, if they want to pursue legal legal stuff, they have a good chance because they've already came out and said that they are the champions and nothing's going to happen. So now they have something to go against them if they will. Now I don't know if this stuff that's coming out now wasn't. I think this stuff that's coming out now has already been out, but now it's out to the public. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But that's just my
Yeah.
opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Have this could have just came out, but I think this was already out in private. I think they just made it public to the people, to social media for everybody to see, and now we're talking about it again. But yeah, nothing's going to happen to Michigan. That's just my thoughts. And on
No,
that,
you know, I'm just saying, what should the NCAA do? I don't think anything's going to happen either. Surprisingly, but like, well, not surprisingly, but like honestly, I I'm just saying something should be done. But we
Well,
know the NCAA is just going to sit back and twiddle their thumbs.
well, whenever the allegations first came out, and this was right before the allegations came out, before, like, a couple weeks before Big Ten title, and the question was, will the Big Ten allow them to play in the Big Ten title game, or will they go with a different team, the second best team, which I'm pretty sure was Ohio State? Will
Yeah.
they go with them? And the Big Ten did their little investigation, came out and said, "Yeah, you could play in the Big Ten title." Okay, then the College Football Playoff Committee, they sat down in a room to figure out who was the four best teams, and they already knew the topic of conversation. They already knew about the cheating scandal. They already knew about that. And whenever they sat down in that room, they still allowed Michigan to be in the playoffs, because one of the big things was heading into the college football playoffs was, is Michigan going to make the playoffs because of the cheating scandal? That was a big question. The college football playoff committee still allowed them to be in the playoffs, continue playing games, and then they went on and won the playoffs, beating Alabama and then Washington. So
Yeah.
and I just feel like um, the teams had an opportunity to change uh, their schemes and stuff like that, their plans. You know, they had a chance to make adjustments to their football team before they played Michigan. They had plenty of opportunity. We seen in the Alabama game, like I already said before, uh, that was definitely a winnable game for Alabama. Alabama had them on the ropes. It ain't like Michigan just blew them out and was. I don't believe that Michigan knew every single thing that Alabama was doing. In that case, it would have been a blowout. So I think Michigan's going to keep their title. If they get anything, the worst will be a bowl ban. That's probably like the worst that'll come out of this. But I just don't see that happening. Um, if they have a bad year this year, which I don't think that's going to happen either. If they have a bad year, then maybe they give them a bowl ban, just because if for some reason they go like 7-5 or 8-4 or something like that, they'll probably give them a bowl ban just to make everybody happy. It ain't like bowls matter according to everybody. Bowls don't matter anymore. So they'll just give them that little bowl ban, slap them on the wrist, and that's it. But if they are in playoff contention, I don't think anything happens. Also, with the 10-2 thing, there's several teams that are going to make 10-2 this year. Just in the SEC, I have, I think, 3 or 4 teams going 10-2 in my predictions.
Yeah.
Also, I have, I have 4, 5, 6. I have like 6 teams in the SEC going 10-2 or better, right? So, I mean, I think a 10-2 team is going to be left out of the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, if Michigan goes 10-2, I don't know if they get left out or not. I don't know that. Um, I, I mean, I have Oregon going 10-2 or better. I have Ohio State going 10-2 or better. I have Michigan going 10-2 or better. I mean, I even have Penn State going 10-2. So, that's 4 teams. That's already 8 teams. That's not even including any other Power 4 conferences or the Group of 5 that gets the automatic bid. So I think a 10-2 team is going to be left out of the playoffs. I mean, just because you go 10-2, I don't think it's 100% that you're automatically going. I still think that 10-2, to even be thought about going is 10-2. But I mean, if you want to definitely get in, probably 11-1 or 12-0, that you definitely get in. But I think 11-1 is what you want to do. 10-2 is kind
Yeah.
of cutting it close. But yeah, man, I know I'm going on a tangent, but I can't wait to see your predictions on this channel. See what you got going on.
Yeah.
And enjoy your channel, and everybody hit the thumbs up for Ballard Sports Media. And I
Thanks,
gotta
mate.
go.
See ya. Yeah, I gotta go too. Good reaction from Mayhem. Like I said, I mean, Michigan could have been the best team last year, but they cheated their way to a title. I think there are two sides of it, but as more information comes out, maybe that changes. So, hope everyone has a blessed Monday on August 5th here, and we'll see you later on. Y'all have a good one.